They say family secrets die behind closed doors. But in Jackie Christie's world, even the doors come with receipts. And this time the lock wasn't just broken, it was ripped clean off. Because what started as a petty Instagram clapback has now erupted into a full-blown cross-generational scandal soaked in betrayal, silence, and unfiltered shame. This ain't just a love and hip-hop level mess. This is a legacy dripping in gasoline. And at the core, not Jackie, not Doug, but their daughter, Shantel Christie, the one fans once dubbed the classy one, the polished one, the daughter, who didn't chase cameras. But now, that image is melting, fast. And all it took was one bitter sister, a few leaked texts, and some very uncomfortable silence. Because according to anonymous interviews, court filings, and one dangerously detailed voice note, Shantel Christie may have crossed a line no one saw coming, allegedly sleeping with the very basketball recruits her father once trained, mentored, and publicly vouched for. Not fans, not influencers, but Doug Christie's own players, young men who looked to him as a father figure. And now, that father figure might be facing his worst nightmare, with his own daughter at the center of it all. But let's back it up. Because this didn't explode out of nowhere. It started slow, subtle. Takari Lee, Jackie's eldest daughter, dropped a clip online. Nothing flashy, just a shady laugh while their mother yelled off camera. Fans thought it was petty sister banter. But Shantel? She went nuclear. No shade. Just scorched earth. She called Takari unstable, accused her of threatening Jackie with a knife, claimed she had 3 kids that their mom had never even met. Then she delivered the dagger. You're the poster child for Stockholm Syndrome. Boom. Just like that, years of hushed tension spilled into a full-blown sibling war. And as fans rushed to pick sides, a third voice entered the chaos. Brittany, a cast member nobody had checked for since season 5. She came in swinging, tagged Shantel, called her a liar, and claimed her supposed tell-all book was just a rage-fueled therapy dump. But she didn't stop there. She dragged Takari too, accusing her of playing into her sister's victim complex to stay relevant. The internet gagged, but Takari, she didn't blink. Instead, she tossed gasoline on the flames with one cryptic, now-deleted bombshell. She switched up when she got knocked up by one of her daddy's prospects. And just like that, silence. Then chaos. Comment sections detonated. Wait, she's serious? Jackie's daughter did what? Didn't Doug used to coach that recruit? Within hours, fan pages were dragging up old photos. Shantel smiling courtside next to rising college stars, photos that once looked like harmless support. But now, they looked like receipts. One pic in particular, white from 2022, showed Shantel in a body-hugging red dress, seated next to a young player later drafted from Doug's training camp. Just days later, pregnancy rumors started. Whispers that vanished quietly, never confirmed, never addressed. Until now. But it didn't stop there. Because someone from Doug's camp, allegedly a former intern who worked summer security, reached out anonymously to a gossip blog. The message: we were told never to leave Shantel alone with the players. Doug was paranoid, but never explained why. Still think it's just smoke? Let's talk fire. Because Orlando, a former athlete once linked to Shantel, sat down for an on-camera interview months back. He didn't name names, but he said, "She made it seem like we were serious. We weren't. She was chasing camera time." Fans didn't connect it then. But now, the puzzle pieces are fitting too perfectly, especially when a blurred VH1 clip resurfaced. One where Jackie offhandedly joked about Shantel getting too close to Doug's boys. At the time, fans laughed. Now, that line feels prophetic. Meanwhile, Doug Christie has gone completely mute. No interviews, no social posts, just training camp photos, headphones on, pretending like the internet ain't, tearing his legacy limb from limb. But silence? In this era, silence isn't strength, it's guilt in disguise, and fans know it. Because as this storm grows, so do the theories. One TikToker dug up Sacramento court records allegedly showing Shantel filed a restraining order against a man listed only as Jay Carter. That same name popped up on Doug's 2021 draft list. Coincidence? Maybe. But the dots are starting to connect. And Takari is feeding the frenzy. Her latest Instagram quote? "The ones who pretend to be saints always got the most to hide." Followed by, "She thought she lit the match. Forgot I hold the lighter fluid." The bigger question now isn't what happened. It's who knew. And in the middle of it all is Jackie Christie, once again stuck between two daughters at war, one husband who's silent, and a tidal wave of shame threatening to bury her entire brand. Her silence? Fans can't tell if it's heartbreak or a strategy. Is she protecting Shantel? Or is she sitting on her own set of receipts waiting for the right moment to flip the whole table? Insiders from Basketball Wives LA are already whispering that production is scrapping planned episodes to pivot to this story. "This is gold," said one source. "If Shantel claps back, it's airing immediately." But so far, crickets. She's disappeared. No posts, no lives, no denials, just silence. And the quiet sound of a story spiraling completely out of control. And now? Bloggers claim they've seen body cam footage from a heated argument, allegedly between Shantel and one of Doug's ex-recruits. No physical fight, but yelling, blame, and one haunting sentence reportedly caught on mic. "You were supposed to keep this quiet. You promised me." If true, that clip could mean serious legal fallout, and not just for Shantel. Because what started as a messy sister spat is now looking like a complete family implosion. One with NDAs, potential lawsuits, and a legacy so scorched, even Jackie's. Most loyal fans are starting to back away. Nobody's asking if it's true anymore. They're asking who's next. And as Doug's name trends for all the wrong reasons, one thing's clear. Jackie's silence might not be motherly instinct. It might be her final, devastating checkmate. Because if reality TV has taught us anything, it's this. The truth never stays buried. It leaks, spreads, and scorches everything in its path. The only question is who leaks it first. And this time, the fallout wasn't just dramatic. It was devastating. By sunrise, Jackie Christie's name was splashed across every gossip blog, but not because of a hairline launch or a reunion episode. No, this was different. This was war. VH1 producers were scrambling, emergency meetings, lawyers on standby. Phone calls to Jackie went straight to voicemail. Shantel's line disconnected. And Doug? He pulled out of a youth basketball camp with no explanation. But the internet didn't wait. Fan accounts, burner pages, and even former VH1 interns began, posting timelines, piecing together old clips and blurry images like digital detectives on a mission. One viral post showed Shantel smiling beside a promising recruit from Doug's 20-20 camp. The caption? "She wasn't scouting for the WNBA." The post exploded. Over 40,000 likes in minutes. And suddenly the conversation shifted from what happened to how long it had been happening. But nothing hit harder than Takari's next move. No drama, no emojis, just one photo. Jackie, alone on a red carpet, looking powerful and broken. The caption? "Protect Black mothers from their own." Boom. The moment stopped time. Bloggers froze. YouTubers launched hour-long live streams. One creator pulled up a Basketball Wives reunion moment from years ago. Jackie, laughing nervously, saying, "My girl's got a habit of bringing home trouble in designer jeans." Back then, it was just a joke. Now, it feels like a warning. She ignored. And as fans replayed the clip, more disturbing receipts started surfacing. A podcast host revealed an alleged DM from a former trainer who once worked under Doug Christie's management. The message read, "Shantel would just pop up at practice unannounced. Doug hated it. One day he pulled me aside and said, 'I don't need rumors, especially not about my own kid.'" Another anonymous Reddit post, allegedly from a VH1 stylist, claimed they overheard Malaysia Pargo joking. "Jackie's daughter thinks she slick, flirting with these boys like we don't see her." At the time, just reality TV shade, but now, that line bites like venom. And the worst wasn't even the past. It was the pregnancy rumors that refused to die. A leaked screenshot of a doctor's appointment slip appeared on a gossip blog, Shantel's name clearly visible, prenatal consultation, no father listed. The date? 6 months before the alleged blowout with Doug's players? The post vanished within 10 minutes, but by then, TikTok had already screenshotted and dissected every detail. One creator dropped a now viral theory. What if Jackie paid for the whole thing to stay quiet? Then came the clip, a throwback of Jackie awkwardly telling producers, "I loaned money to one of my girls for medical bills," followed by a shaky laugh and a long pause. Coincidence? Not anymore. And still, no word from Jackie. No confirmation. No denial. Just silence. And in today's digital war, silence isn't protection. It's permission. Meanwhile, Shantel had vanished from social media, but her ghost remained. Fans flooded her old Instagram posts with comments like, "So we're just ignoring the players now?" And "You did your mama dirtier than Malaysia ever could." It got worse. People began tagging VH1, demanding an official statement. But while Jackie's camp said nothing, Takari broke the silence. She went live. No glam, no makeup, just tears and truth. Her voice cracked as she said, "I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't speak unless I've lived. And in what I saw, what I know, will bury people if I ever decide to speak at all." She didn't say Shantel's name. She didn't have to. The internet already knew. Then came the leak. A DM thread, allegedly between Shantel and a VH1 assistant producer, hit Twitter. The messages hinted at a plan. Shantel was going to come clean on camera, secure her own multi-episode arc, and launch a personal brand off the scandal. But the deal fell apart. The last message? Doug shut it down, said she wasn't ready, said it would ruin everything. Ruin what, exactly? Her life? His reputation? Or the crumbling image of a family that once looked untouchable? And then, as if someone pressed the gas pedal, whispers of a cease and desist began flying. But they didn't come from Jackie. They allegedly came from Doug. Sent to multiple bloggers, the letter reportedly warned against using Shantel's full name in relation to unauthorized narratives involving Mr. Christie's professional associates. Translation? The bloggers were getting way too close, but they didn't back down. One responded on livestream with, "You want us to stop? Then stop handing us fuel." And just when it felt like things couldn't get more layered, Malaysia Pargo reappeared, but not with a statement, with a vibe. She posted a reel. No words. Just soft jazz in the background, flipping through a magazine, sipping red wine with the smuggest smirk fans had ever seen. The comment section exploded. "You knew. This about Jackie's daughter, huh? You next." While Malaysia sipped, Jackie strategized. Sources close to her legal team claimed she was preparing not just for fallout, but for total exposure. If this saga ruined her daughter's name, she was ready to drag down the whole system that enabled it. According to one insider, Jackie holds emails, receipts that prove VH1 knew about inappropriate behavior offset and did nothing. If it links back to Shantel and Doug's recruits? It's not just a scandal, it's a network-wide liability, because this isn't just a story about messy family drama anymore. It's about a mother pushed to the edge, a daughter standing in the fire, and a legacy dangling by a thread. And for Jackie Christie, the woman who built a brand off resilience and control, the hardest decision now may not be what to say, but who to protect. Because if she shields Shantel, she sacrifices herself. But if she speaks, the entire Christie empire might come crashing down, because if the whispers are true, if Shantel really did what Takari claims, then Jackie's silence won't look like love. It'll look like complicity. And in an industry where loyalty is currency, complicity is the real betrayal. They thought this would fade. They always do. A scandal hits, a few blogs bite, hashtags trend for a weekend, then it all dies down. But not this one. This wasn't petty drama. This was legacy threatening. Bloodlines, bank accounts, and now, according to insiders close to the case, even federal investigators are circling. What started as social media smoke has now become a legal inferno, not just probing Shantel's alleged relationships with her father's recruits, but diving into potential financial misconduct tied directly to Jackie's brand, Doug's, business dealings, and VH1's alleged negligence. And while executives whisper behind boardroom doors and lawyers revise NDAs in real time, Jackie Christie has flipped the script. No longer on defense, no longer quiet. She's going full offense, and she's not just coming for names, she's coming for blood. Days after the cease and desist letters leaked, Jackie's attorney filed a petition in family court to unseal asset records tied to Doug's coaching firm. Why? Because if even $1 moved from Doug's accounts to players allegedly linked to Shantel, it's not just bad optics. It's power abuse. It's grooming. It's negligence wrapped in professionalism. And Jackie? She brought receipts. A literal flash drive was entered into the record, and according to courtroom whispers, it contains wire transfers, WhatsApp audio, and several emails confirming Shantel was involved with at least 2 young athletes during their private training, under Doug's supervision. One of those players? Still locked into a brand deal Jackie brokered herself. This isn't messy. This is legal quicksand. And the deeper Shantel sinks, the more damage she pulls down with her. Under pressure, VH1 issued a weak 1-paragraph statement. We do not condone inappropriate behavior among cast members or their associates. We are monitoring developments closely. Too vague. Too late. The internet had already moved past it. Fan detectives unearthed an old interview clip where Doug nervously muttered, "We keep distractions away from our young athletes. Even family." Now that line is trending again and with a fresh caption, "Distractions, Shantel." And then, when everyone thought she'd stay gone, Shantel resurfaced. Not with a PR rep, not with an Instagram comeback, but through a leaked voice note, captured inside a private group chat, and blasted across Twitter. Her voice? Broken, angry, defensive. Y'all want me to own things that were never official. I made mistakes, but I never lied about what I felt. I never meant to hurt anyone. Then another voice cut in. Raw, sharp, unmistakably familiar. You didn't hurt anyone? You destroyed your mother. She raised you like royalty, and you spit in her face just to trend. Then silence. That silence said everything, and just like that, Jackie struck. No announcement, no press invites, just a surprise live stream. She stepped out dressed in all white, not as a victim, but as a general. A screen lit up behind her, blurry but damning. Shantel, arms around one of Doug's former players, laughing. Captioned beneath the photo, "The man I trusted to train. The daughter I raised to lead. Both gone." She turned to the camera, took a breath, and dropped the bomb. I stayed quiet to protect my family, but silence doesn't stop betrayal. It enables it. Then, one by one, she addressed the damage. To my daughter, I loved you, but I can't defend you if you won't. Face what you did. To my husband, you failed me, not just in marriage, but in legacy. To VH1, if you knew, and I believe you did, then you're complicit, and you'll answer in court. And finally, she lowered her voice, slicing through the silence like glass. The world sees this as a family scandal, but this is bigger. This is about women being used, lied to, and left to bleed in silence. If my daughter broke the code, I can't fix her, but I'll make damn sure the system that let it happen doesn't walk away clean. Boom. The internet detonated. Lawyers from VH1, Doug and Shantel's teams were locked into emergency sessions. Hashtags flooded social media within minutes. Asked justice for Jackie, Recruitgate. She knew better. Even old Basketball Wives cast members started weighing in. One tweeted, "There was always tension behind the scenes, but I never imagined this." And then came the moment no one saw coming. A podcast dropped an anonymous interview with voice modulation. The guest, a former recruit from Doug's program. When asked if he was ever approached by someone in a position of power's family, he paused and said, "More than once, and not just approached, pressured." Another pause. Then, "You can't say no to a king's daughter without risking your future. You just can't." The silence that followed was the loudest sound of all. Now, Jackie Christie, once seen as the queen of drama, has become the architect of vengeance. Doug is hiding behind legal barriers. Shantel is ghosted, dropped by, her brand deals, her team, even close friends. And VH1, they're bracing for a lawsuit that could flip reality TV on its head. But Jackie isn't finished. Not even close. She's filed to freeze Shantel's trust fund, citing betrayal, brand damage, and contractual violation. Her team is now requesting court access to all digital conversations between Shantel and every recruit trained under Doug's name. And the real kicker? According to courtroom leaks, there's more footage, more audio, possibly from private gym security, possibly even leaked phone recordings, but the biggest nuke of all? Jackie's new docuseries, currently being pitched to every major streamer. Working title? Loyalty costs more. If it gets greenlit, it won't just air the family drama. It'll expose everything. The marriage, the betrayal, the silence, the receipts. And Jackie? She'll serve as executive producer. Every shot, every edit, every bombshell, hers to control, because now she's not just fighting to clear her name. She's building something bigger. A new empire. One that doesn't need her daughter's loyalty. One that runs on truth. And as for Shantel, her silence is broken. Her image is shattered. And the legacy she thought she was born into? It's gone, burned, rewritten, because in Jackie Christie's world, fire doesn't just destroy, it purifies.